Now, my brother Samson came down and said, you have got to get that Lord in your life. Get him in there and get it in there. Get that Lord in your life and don't let him go. You hold on to the Lord. I'm going to read from the book of Isaiah here. Chapter 44. Yet here I know, Jacob, servant Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Lord, who made you and formed you. Fear not, O Jacob. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant. And you, Jezreel, whom I have chosen, you are the Lord. And the Lord came down and said upon the sheep and cattle, I love you. I'm going to make love to you. And the Lord has loved everyone. If He doesn't love you, then you've got to get that straight. You've got to get the Lord in your heart. You've got to get Jesus Christ, your Savior, in your heart. Get Him in there and stick it in there real good and make sure it stays. The book of Psalms. Part 1. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. 9/11 was an inside job, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. The delight is in the law of the Lord. Do you understand what I'm saying here? If you don't understand, you can call our hotline. Linda's over there now ready to answer your call. It's 1-888-499-7479-74663 and add a 9 on the end. This week in service, we had a young man who was overcome by the gloriosity of the Lord, and he walked up in the middle of my speech and in my sermon, and he walked up to the stage and he said, young man, he said, Pastor, I want to give my love to this congregation. And I said, son, I put my hand on his shoulder and I said, son, you are full of love. You are full of love, and I want you to do that too. And the young man took his pants off, and it was a little inappropriate, but this is the kind of thing that I am talking about. This kind of, you gotta get filled with that gloriosity. And I mean it. Now, I mean it. And if, don't let anyone call you a zealot. Don't let anyone do that. You got to get the gloriosity of the Lord in you, and get it in you, and get it in good. Because if you don't, then you're going to have some sin in your life, and that sin is going to bring you down. Job. Chapter 21. I have made a covenant with my eyes. Then should I look upon a young woman. For what is the allotment of God from above? And what is the project for a new American century? And what is, dear Lord, the Military Commissions Act? Now, the Lord has His secrets and messages in many ways. In many ways. You have got to understand that. And if you don't, then you gotta get started on understanding it. You see what I'm saying here? Are you getting my gist? The Lord works His message deeper than you know. Deeper than you know. And higher than the firmament. Get that in your head. And get it in there and keep it in there. And that is right. As my great uncle Terry Sevilla used to see on God's Plan Network. One more line here for you from the book of Uzzah. Chapter 4:9. When these things were done, the leaders came to me, saying, the people of Israel And the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the peoples of the land with respect to the abominations of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the other people who were there at the time. And there were many people there at the time. You have to do your research, folks, I'm telling you. If you want to know the gloriosity of the Lord's Saviorship and the blessership that runs deeper than you know, then you've got to get the Lord in there with you.